How's it going, everyone? Parth with Atlanta JDM here to show off another one of our imports. Today we're going to be looking at Joe's custom ordered 1997 Toyota Town Ace. Lots of people have been asking about these. I understand there are a lot of discrepancies in registering K vans and trucks in Georgia. It is true. I'm fighting that battle alone. If you'd like to help me, shoot me an email. But until then, for what Joe was looking for, I talked him out of getting a K truck. I talked him into getting something a little bigger for what he wanted to do. This is very similar to the Toyota Light Ace in terms of size, towing capacity, etc., etc. Very similar. These in Japan are used as work trucks, so it did take some time to find this one, and it did cost a little bit of money, because when you find one with low miles in good condition like this, you got to jump on it. And again, the Japanese people know what they want. They know what they want price-wise, I mean. And this one has factory AC, so big plus all around. Gonna do a real quick lap just to show you guys the condition. Again, this is probably one of the cleanest ones that I've seen pop up at auction. The other cleaner one that I've seen I actually bought and is on the way. It is different from this one in terms of being a column 5 shifter, and it does not have AC, but it's got like 30 something miles on it. It's ridiculous. And we'll go over the bed and all that stuff, because again, these things are typically rusted out, chain smoked in, and all the above. Man, these things are work trucks. They were made to just beat on, and this one will get beat on, but this one didn't take that much abuse. We have thoroughly checked the car at auction, and before I will do some pans underneath before I go over the cosmetic blemishes. There is little to no rust on this thing. Most of the stuff on there is small surface rust that Joe has already been warned of or seen himself when he inspected the vehicle in Japan, and then when he inspected the vehicle before I sent all the stuff off to get registered. I met in a mall parking lot and I let him check it out with his wife. Very clean rear-wheel drive, so it is not four-wheel drive. Not a big deal, but most people just assume all of these are four-wheel drive, and four-wheel drive would have cost a little more money and taken a little more time to find. So cosmetic blemishes, again, it is a work truck. It is going to have a few, and these aren't too bad. On the front, you've got a little bit of, I don't know if you can see that, touch-up paint right here. Some scratches and stuff on the front plastic. You've got, I'm gonna go over the cab first, because the bed's a whole different story. The truck beds aren't supposed to look as nice as this one. Got some paint chipping right here. A little bit right here on the door. And other than that, the cab is good. The top checks out. It's not faded out or anything like that. And this side, this door's got some attempts to touch it up and just stuff over the years. Now to the bed. The bed, all the flaps do fold down. It is more of a pain in the butt to do it versus the K trucks, and it's super heavy, the actual flaps themselves. So I'm just going to kind of show you guys the bed. You can check out the back. Usually these things are completely rusted out and tanner than myself, and I'm pretty tan. But the bed itself, it's not perfect, but I mean, it's not that bad. No rust is chewing it out. I've already checked in between all these as well. Me and Joe popped everything down. I mean, it's a little beat up. It's got some dents up in there. It was definitely used in Japan, but compared to some of those trucks that we saw before this one popped up, this one was awesome. It hit every check mark, So now we'll go over the inside. Again, it is a work truck. Has been smoked in a little bit. Because, you know, you're at work, you're smoking, you're in Japan. So you do have some stains from the past, maybe paint stains, I'm assuming. Got a few on the dash also, but the dash isn't cracked. Just got some paint stains and some dirtiness over the years. You do have one tear right here in the seat, like most of these things always do on the driver's seat. The commercial 90s pattern. And it is a 3-seater, believe it or not. You got to be a little friendly with the person sitting in the front. It is a 3-seater, but if you don't want anyone to sit with you, you pull this lever right here. And then pull down on this. Then you got armrest, cup holders, my favorite. Some storage. It is in automatic. It is got the 2C, so it's a 2.0 4-cylinder diesel engine, and you can definitely tell it's diesel when you're driving it. It is quite slow. Right now we're looking at 102,376 kilometers. That is 63,600 miles. So still under 100K, still kind of brand new. I mean, these cars that come at like 50 to 80,000 miles after the conversion, there to us that's like brand spanking new, man. It's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Headliner is sagging. I was just tucking it in a little bit. I think Joe already knows he's gonna have to, you know, replace this, do something about it. I think he's already got some ideas, but headliner saggy, you can tell. Does have some evidence of smoking. Ashtray definitely has evidence of someone that cleaned it out before they ran it through auction. Factory AC, which is always a plus. An aftermarket Japanese radio, which is not gonna work here, but unless you got like a Bluetooth adapter. And that's it. Roll up windows, manual. It does have an idle up and idle off. I did call Flavian to ask him about that. I don't understand why it has it when it doesn't even have 4-wheel drive. I'm assuming it might compensate or try to help you compensate for some hills or heavy loads or just to get in low gear. I'm not sure, but never seen that in a rear-wheel drive car. And then you've got, I didn't even notice or mention the Toyota like metal or heavy plastic, sorry, heavy plastic smoke visors, rain guards. And you got your little, I don't even want to ask what they were partying on in Japan with this thing. You got a little secret table though to eat your lunch or do whatever you want to do, Joe. I don't know, man. And then you also have a little cubby down here where all his manuals are hidden. Just making sure I don't forget them when he comes to pick the truck up. Other than that, that's, I guess I'll show you behind here real quick just to show you. So back here you do have a little bit of space. I do have to put this back on. I forgot to put it back on its actual bracket. But you got some space for some tools back here. Whatever you can't fit, just throw in your bed, obviously. And the engine is actually, let me see if I can do this with one hand. It's going to be a pain in the butt. It's a cab over. It's kind of like right here. But you access it from the cab. Let's see if we can do it. I got to fold this down again. There she is. It's not the Hilux engine, but pretty dang close in terms of reliability. Now, parts wise, I haven't really looked too much into it. From what I think Joe has looked into, shouldn't be too hard to get these parts. Some of them obviously you might have to order overseas like most of these cars, but there are a lot of distributors here now in the US that are holding parts like these in stock. Mini Truck USA being one of them in California. This not technically being a mini truck, but might need to look into that after this video just for my own peace of mind. Now I'm gonna turn it on real fast. I'm not gonna be, I don't like driving customer cars. I know I say it all the time, even though that's like the perk of the job. This one in particular, I know a ton of people in multiple forums have been asking what it goes on the interstate. I have no idea. So I think the driving portion is just gonna be me going on the interstate real fast from one exit to another, just to see if I can get 60 and how it actually rides. But here's a startup demonstration. I should have left the engine compartment open. Silly me, my bad. If you've driven any diesel vehicle, you know it's always about momentum. Once you have that one dude cut you off and you lose your momentum, that's the only time driving a diesel kind of sucks, or when you're filling up. But aside from that, you know, I've driven it around town. I've hauled some lumber from Home Depot, and it's a solid truck. It's just a little slow because it's a diesel. It wasn't made to go fast, it was just made to last. But Joe, I'm excited for you, and I think this is a good example of a town ace. And yeah, I guess I'll go do a little interstate driving. Yeah, so I just did 2 exits like I said, and without the air on I could get to 110 and be like cruising. With the air on, I think 100 kilometers is right at where you're going to be sitting. Let me turn this off. It just gets really hot in here. It's like a tiny fishbowl, and the engine's literally right underneath me. But let's see if we can get to 110. You're right lane cruising the whole time, so just be wary of that. But you're doing that in King Trucks and Vans anyways. If you're going in the left lane in those, then God bless you. Alright, so we just passed 90. Creeping up to a hundo. There's 105. And that's like almost there. I don't want to ride this guy's ass though. Oh, there's a truck there. I mean, it's right at about 100. That's where you're comfortable at, I think, for the interstate. Going 110 is going to be a little extra, but I think 100 will be just right. So it's not bad. It's a little shaky. I think the steering is a little off. It needs to be aligned. Or this, I don't think it needs an alignment. Good, but it rides pretty well on the interstate, though. Like usually when you're in a K truck or van, any trucks or bigger cars that go by you, the wind is just like. It is crazy. It's the scariest thing ever. Getting in between 2 semis in a K truck or van. I did that one time and I thought that was it. I was like, alright, well, at least it was fun. Died in a little van, saved money on a coffin. Now we're at 110. And it is a little more shakier, not violent though. It's, you know, rideable. But I am like profusely sweating now because it just gets ridiculously hot in here. So I am going to turn this back on.